Hi guys, today we are planting a Passiflora caerulea, and this is also known as a Becky's blue and white passion vine. This plant is a hardy perennial in zones 7 through 10, but you might be able to get away with planting this in a zone 6. However, it does get really big. It can grow up to 35 feet or more. So plant this summer where it can really take over because it blooms prolifically. It does produce fruit that's edible. However, the fruit is fairly bland, but people still like to make jellies out of them, and I'm sure your chickens would love to eat them. The plant has beautiful dark green foliage, and it is evergreen down to 6 degrees. If your area gets down to 0 degrees, the plant will die back, but it'll come back once it warms up. The plant is extremely vigorous in average soil, but if you have nutrient-rich soil, it can be a little bit crazy and it may bloom less. The more you let it grow, the bigger you let the plant grow, the more blooms you're going to get. And it does bloom from about late spring until the first frost. I guess we're all coming. What you doing, Bo? Also, this plant is a rapid grower and it will shoot off suckers from the ground. So it's not really considered invasive, but it can be under the right conditions. So make sure you plan for that when you pick a spot. I'm planting this on this little trellis that I have next to my bean plant. I'm planning on this being a permanent spot for this plant. And I will eventually probably do about a 30-foot long trellis just for this vine. You can plant this pretty deep and it will reroot from the stem if you bury it. So you could essentially plant the whole thing if you wanted to create a huge run with it and have it shoot up suckers. However, I'm just going to plant it up to the soil level in the pot that it came in, and I also added compost to the hole, which you really don't need to do. Our soil here is already nitrogen rich, so this plant's probably going to grow really big and bloom less, but we'll see. They do like well-draining soil, but they're fairly adaptable, so if you have poor soil or even clay soil, this plant will still thrive. You can prune this plant anytime during the year. Preferably you'll want to do it mid to late spring if you're trying to control it. However, like I said before, if you just let it go, you'll get way more flowers. Also, the plant really likes to be in full sun in the morning and part of the afternoon, and then shade the rest of the day. However, it's so hardy that you could plant it in full sun or full shade and it'll do absolutely fine. Ideally though, you want it to have direct sun exposure for at least 4 hours during the day, but if you're in a really hot climate like I'm in, it does do better when it has afternoon shade. This plant can take quite a bit of abuse, so if you forget to water it, you're gonna have a hard time killing it, to be honest, because I've had it in this pot for months and I barely watered it and it was still thriving pretty much, and it bloomed inside my house all this time. I've had it on my kitchen counter, so I'm really impressed with this plant. I think you guys are really gonna love it. And it comes in so many different color variations. Make sure you're checking what variety it is, because there is a blue passion vine that my father-in-law has. He's in zone 9, and I really wanted that one, but it doesn't do well in the wintertime in my area, so I opted for the white and blue Becky's because this one does better in colder climates during winter. So I got this one and I still really love it. I think it's really beautiful and it adds a tropical feel to my garden. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you give this plant a try, and we will see you guys tomorrow.